Imagine if a VR headset and various sensors like EEG, EMG, and other G's, G up here in the house, they all had a baby together. That's what you're going to get today. Kirill Krasnogir is the CEO of CleverPoint. They provide a little tool that basically gives you a little test in VR, meanwhile collecting your heart, brain, and muscle data to spit out some results about your mental and physiological status, your levels of anxiety, stress, fatigue, risk of burnout, etc. Even if you don't care about VR, I don't want to hear none more of this VR stuff. Yeah, I'm sure you still care about your heart and brain health, so listen in to this conversation with Kirill Krasnogir. Okay, so you have this very amazing technology I haven't seen yet. Basically, you're combining virtual reality, the VR headset, with these sensors, EEG, HRV. I think there's some eye sensors and other ones. Maybe you can tell me all about it. But yeah, give us a little quick overview of what is CleverPoint.
Let's probably I will show you what CleverPoint is.
Okay.
So actually, if it's possible, we use typical helmets, headsets. In our case, is Oculus Quest. What we are doing, we replace the original face mask with our own, with dry electrodes, and use our equipment. This small box, one of the hearts of our technology. It's this box which allows us to record the electrical activity of the brain, the activity of the cardiovascular system, and autonomic nervous system. So in simple words, we work with heart and brain activity of a user. And based on this technology, we developed a solution called Stressonica, which is focused at burnout prevention and mental health support of managers and employees in companies. Can I show it?
Well, this is going to be mainly audio only. You can show me,
audio,
but
audio,
the
okay.
output for this podcast is mainly
Okay,
audio.
let's then let's I will explain you how it works.
Yeah.
In virtual reality, we ask a person make some tests. Tests very easy. Even kids like 12 years old can pass it through. But during such a journey, we record physiological response of a person, and upon completion 20-25 minutes, the system automatically generates a big report, like 23 pages, around 30 parameters, where we identified strengths and weaknesses, provide recommendations which training programs are suitable to improve physiological or cognitive parameters. We identify the potential risk of burnout, your ability to turn you off from stress. We understand how quickly you can recover after the stress, and many other things. And in a nutshell, we understand who you are, how to interact with you, how to avoid your future burnout. Finally, we the main philosophy of this solution that we are the first who talk about physiological diversity and inclusion, because physiologically we are all entirely different, and at the same task we react in different manners. And for us, a topic how to recognize it, because this is a path for emotional intelligence, empathy development, and leadership development, and general well-being development of teams and companies.
So it's mainly diagnostic, or is it also preventative, or is it meant to cure or treat certain mental health conditions? What's the scope of what it can do?
Actually, this is one of the like a first step. This is like a screening, because we understand your psychophysiological profile, and as a rule, people have different profiles depending on the time of day, morning or evening, the beginning of the week or the end of the week, the profile after the tough working week or something like this. Because for people, this is also good, because they develop their mindfulness and understand how their body and their physiology reacts on their behavior. Because Michael, what we found that unfortunately many people have absolutely low awareness about the relationship between physiology and their behavior.
Mm.
This is also one of our goals to explain by their objective data, because people trust real objective data.
Mm. And you have a lot of things packed into the back of that. Looks like a little computer on the back, and then around the where the eyes are, where the I guess the rim of the glasses, if you want to call them that. There's a bunch of sensors there. What are these sensors? What are they? I mentioned some of them. I tried to explain it, but is it EEG? Is it tracking the eyes? What is it tracking? Many things. What is it tracking?
We use a combination of sensors.
Okay.
We are getting data, let's call it EEG, from for hand, yeah,
Uh,
of a person,
yeah.
but it's not, you know, we see a lot of tools like brain computer interfaces who are also taking data from the forehand,
Yeah.
yeah,
The frontal lobes. Yeah.
frontal lobes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but in general, this is not clear EEG data, because in frontal lobe we have a lot of muscles, yeah, like a micro muscles
Yeah.
on your face.
And you have a skull. You have bones there as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And all of this stuff every time
Yeah.
in some kind of movement process, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And everybody's different.
yes, exactly, and that's why I don't like this term like EEG, but
Okay.
I would prefer to say that like a mixed data of EEG plus EMG, electromyography, and your muscle activities. Because in
Okay.
order to get a clear EEG from frontal part of your lobe, you need to be absolutely frozen, yeah, without any kind of movements, with closed eyes and so on and so forth. But in VR, it's not possible.
Yeah.
But based on this mixed data, we also can understand a lot regarding the cognitive load, regarding the some kind of relaxation, and so on and so forth. And the second part of sensors is cardio cardio sensors.
Yeah.
Uh, in our case, we are recording real ECG, because there are different technologies, specifically technologies which are used in fitness trackers or
Yeah.
smart
Yeah.
watches. Yeah, they're using a PPG approach, but for our purposes, such a quality of data is not enough, because we are calculating real heart rate variability, and for this reason we need collect all your heartbeats, and each heartbeat is important to us to understand your HRV, because based on this HRV, our algorithms already identify different functional types of your state. For instance, today we are able to identify more than 9 functional types, from uh, severe fatigue to stress and hyperstress and anxiety, based on your cardiovascular system. For this reason, we need real ECG data.
And the HRV is sort of the main metric that's informing this, or I don't know too much about heart data. Is it mostly HRV?
Heart rate variability, yeah,
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
that if we
Science lesson time.
your heart is beating with some kind of rhythm, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and this rhythm is not constant. And
Yeah.
if we will take your specific heartbeat, we can calculate your instance pulse. This is
Hmm.
like a deviation between previous heartbeat and your current heartbeat, yeah.
Yeah. Because the heart doesn't beat like in a perfect
Yes,
rhythm, right? There's gaps between it.
yes, and we are calculating these gaps, and the foundation of heart rate variability is measuring these destinations between heartbeats. And I tell you that in when we are relaxed, our heart is beating in absolutely different manner. So the distance between beats
Mm.
are different.
There's more variance, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of variances, and also depends on your state. You're sitting, you're
Mm.
walking, whatever, yeah. But when you get stressed more and more, your autonomic nervous system is adapting, and your heart is becoming beats like a drum, like a bum 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 bum,
Yeah.
and the distance between your heartbeats is become more equal, yeah, and the same.
Yeah.
And based on this theory and approach, we can understand a lot regarding your real functional state right now, for instance, yeah, or in the concrete or specific period of time or specific period of your scenario in virtual reality.
And yeah, so basically, I guess for people who don't know about HRV, it's becoming kind of common knowledge. But basically, higher HRV is generally a sign of more parasympathetic mode, more healthier. And each person's gonna have a different sort of normal average. But in general, if you have low HRV and basically it beats like a drum, that's not as ideal. That's not as good for us, basically. Which is kind of counterintuitive. We think that beating like a drum is more efficient, it's working better, but actually that's not the case. It's the high HRV is better for us, right?
It depends on because
Okay, this is great.
yeah,
Yeah,
because we must to keep in mind and other parameters, your
hmm,
age, your gender, yeah,
yeah,
because there are different ranges for different ages, for instance, even, yeah, and also important to understand that stress itself is uh, is not bad every time,
right.
because sex is also stress, yeah,
Yeah,
like eus stress, like some
uh
kind
huh.
of a positive emotion.
Right. Yeah,
And but still for our body or for our cardiovascular system or autonomic nervous system, it doesn't matter what kind of stress, positive or negative, our body reacts in the same manner for this. And plus we also must consider what is really context of this stress when it's appearing, yeah.
yeah.
So all these variants and dimensions allows us to understand a lot about your real physiological reactions and
Okay.
how to probably in the future cope or conquer with, I would say, negative stress. Yeah.
I'll move on from this heart rate variability stuff, but I'm going to ask a couple more questions. So wait, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't know this. Is it the case? It sounds like you're saying when we have this sort of sympathetic nervous system going on, this stress,
Mhm.
that's correlated with a lower HRV, and the parasympathetic mode of calm and relax is higher. Maybe I'm completely getting this wrong. Is that what you're saying?
HRV is a more complex parameter because
Okay.
to calculate HRV, we calculating all the possible and known parameters which is related to it, like RMSSD and SDNN and other parameters. Yeah, so sometimes it depends, but
Okay.
definitely then higher RMSSD parameter, for instance, it's
What is
uh,
aromatase D? Basically, you're probably going to spend. We're probably going to spend a lot of time today discussing certain terms, like you're a university professor or something, and you're going to be like, "Oh no, I got to explain what this simple word is." But it's not simple for everybody. What is that?
this is like a standard deviation.
Yeah. Okay. Um, a couple other terms we talked about earlier that I want to go back to before we continue ahead is you said you're using EEG, but you're also using electromyography, EMG, to use the muscles. What's the difference between EEG and EMG?
We use EMG sensors to clean EEG data,
Okay.
uh, because, as I previously mentioned, we are taking this data from your frontal lobe, and definitely there are a lot of noise, like eye flicking, head movement, and so on and so forth. And we use this data to improve the quality of EEG signal, first of all, and secondly, we try to analyze the mix of this data, because still we are taking it from your face, yeah, and this allows us to collect, not only to collect but also to assume different hypotheses, how this mix of data reacts on this or that, and what probably conclusions we can make in nearest future. Yeah. For instance, right now we are working on the algorithms for emotional state detection. Definitely, we are not able to say that right now the person happy or angry. It's practically impossible right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are trying to understand the violence and arousal of your emotional state, like a positive or negative emotional state, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the power of this emotional state. But we don't know your baseline. Just like we don't know where is your 0 point. Yeah, we just can compare you with yourself in previous or subsequent sections,
Mm.
and this topic to talk to a user probably what happened in this or that episode of their scenarios to understand what is inside of a person.
Okay, so yeah, all these sensors on the face, and are they all in the head? Is that where they all are?
No, only
No,
on your face, because for our purposes it's enough.
on the face. Yeah.
It's enough.
Mm.
Plus, to use all the sensors all over the head,
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes very tricky because of let's take people from, for instance, Africa. Yeah, they have very very strong hairs, and it's
Mm-hmm.
practically impossible to get data here. I mean,
In the back.
back of your head.
Okay.
Yes, because of the structure of hairs and so on and so forth, and definitely it's very complex equipment, yeah,
Yeah.
and complex architecture and so on and so
Mm.
forth. But for needs, consumer-based needs,
Yeah.
it's not needed. Yeah.
Also uncomfortable, and on the face is enough. It's enough data. It's accurate enough data from the face.
For our purposes, yeah, for our purposes, yes, because that's why we are using different subsystems of organism of a person, like a heart and brain, because based on this combination, we can understand even much more than only the data gathered from your head. I know that Israel right now different solutions when even PPG sensors also insert or embedded into the headset masks on your head, but
Yeah.
still it's not accurate and not so real cardio data as we are getting with electrocardiography.
The answer might be no because of the current state of the technology. But is there any eye tracking in this, or is there any plans to use some kind of eye tracking, say like for pupil dilation? I know certain eye movements and positions and stuff are correlated with certain states of our nervous system, for example. Is there any of that, or any plans for any of that?
Definitely, it's a new additional source of data, and we're going to use it. And we're still waiting when, for instance, Oculus will decide to do something like this. But for instance, Pico, if we will take Pico, yeah, they already use it, and this is what we have in our plans to combine also and to use this data, because definitely we will get much wider range of additional not only sources but additional meanings and understanding of our real state at a specific period of time. Because you're right, there are different correlations between your eyes movement or eyes reactions with your cardio even data. Yeah,
Yeah, if you put it together, the eyes and the heart and everything you're doing, that can sort of strengthen the argument that you're printing on these sort of assessment, these mental assessment reports for your clients.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
You mentioned that we these people who are using your device and the software are learning how their behaviors are correlated with certain states in their nervous system, which correlates to feelings and thoughts and actions and a lot of things like that. Have you noticed any trends in like certain? I don't know if you're tracking this data or you're kind of keeping your eye on it, but certain trends and behaviors that this behavior always sort of spikes the heart in this way or has this kind of result. So basically, what are some behaviors that you've learned from this that we can use to say decrease our sympathetic arousal, our stress, or ways to increase it? Yeah. Is there any of that you're doing?
Um,
Maybe it's not official data, but yeah.
For people, this is like some kind of magic because, as I mentioned before, that people don't know how everything is react and work in their body. Yeah, and but what is also important that for different people it's really different approach how to stabilize or probably calm them down, yeah, or control their stress, for instance, yeah, because it also depends on their nervous system, which will also detect and identify the behavior of their nervous system. Like because the traditional approach, if you're stressed, you must to breathe.
Yeah.
You must to breathe to calm you down. Yeah.
Breathe in through your nose, extend the exhale. There's all these sort of general rules of thumb that we have, but
yes,
what you're saying is that maybe these might work, but what if we can have a personalized sort of toolkit for each person that we can only know by basically studying their body via these sensors and stuff? So this does like lend more power to your technology because it gives each person a way to understand their own unique nervous system and how to kind of go forward with that. Because maybe we don't know what specific behaviors are going to do this or that unless we actually track it. It's kind of hard just to figure it out yourself without hard data, but you're providing that hard data.
Yeah, but this is what I would like to finish my previous thought that regarding the breathing, yeah. But you know what? That for certain part of people, such approach doesn't work. Why? Because they are very hyperactive and they have a low endurance of nervous cells. And for such people, for instance, just to breathe to calm down doesn't work at all. They don't like it. They are not able to do it. And the best approach to such people probably will be to somehow burn your stress. Burn means like walking, jogging, or probably any kind of sport or whatever workout. When you burn your stress, and only afterwards, such people can train with breathing techniques. And other people, for instance, they are familiar with breathing. They can do breathing exercises, and for such people, breathing techniques is really helpful. So this also depends on your psychotype and physiological type of you. That's why it's very important to understand your individual style, and based on it, provide you specific recommendations based on your physiological response, based on your physiological behavior. And this is what is very important when we are working with real people, to provide individual feedback and individual advice, like a personalized advice. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same even with this makes sense because with, for example, medication and stuff. I'm definitely a bigger fan of these behavioral tools and even supplements or hopefully actual eye movements and breathing, whatever we can do with our own body. But yeah, with pharmaceuticals, for example, people with ADHD, they take these dopaminergic drugs. So basically, they're increasing their dopamine. And you think, what the heck? You're giving these guys meth, you're giving these guys stimulants, and then somehow that calms them down. You think, whoa, this calms them down. But even then, each person with ADHD, they're going to need a different dose. And then maybe that's not going to work. They're going to need a different kind of drug. So this kind of it seems to be doing the same thing, where saying each person's nervous system is acting differently. It might be acting completely opposite of what the textbooks say it should be doing. But you're going to kind of know and know the right dose. Are you kind of after the results are coming out and they know, okay, this is how my system is running? Is there any kind of treatment or kind of exercises or some other kind of experience that these people get, or is it mostly just sort of a diagnostic thing right now?
Um, I don't like the term of diagnostic, because
Okay, okay, yeah,
diagnostic means something medical. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
are mostly focused at self development in our
Okay,
case. But you're right that the let's call it like a report or results. It's this only like a first step to understand. Yeah,
yeah,
yourself, to get to know yourself better through the prism
yeah,
of the data. Next step, how to improve yourself, or
yeah, yeah,
probably transform yourself. And it also depends already on you, based on your motivation to do something. uh, this is what we follow to, because our next step is development of web platform, where based on this data, we will provide individual development paths for each user.
yeah,
But right now, how it works, for instance, it's important who consult you, who explain you reports data. Yeah, and in our case, our solution used by psychologists, business coaches, mental health specialists, and we know and we believe that such professionals have their own uh, toolbox,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
of
Okay,
practices which can help their clients to improve themselves.
okay,
And it works like it is. But you know what we see right now? That we see real transformation of people.
yeah,
Last example, top manager of one company visit us twice, and the first time it was like the beginning of the year,
uh-huh.
and it was absolutely stressful guy. Um, in his case, hyper stress led him to not high productivity, but even like a decrease in productivity because of stress.
Yeah,
And in such situation, people a bit some kind of like a frozen, or make a lot of mistakes, or they have some kind of delays in their decision making process or whatever. And after such a session, this guy decided to change himself. And you know what? 3 months ago, he visited one of our offices, because we right now experimenting with such called like a room of immersive psychology, where everybody can visit a specialist and get tested and get some kind of consultation. Yeah, and when this guy had been tested, we saw absolutely two different people based on the data. And my ask question was how and what you did you do with this? His answer was that for me it was like a big motivation, because I understand that I'm just 30, and question for me, what will be in 5 years or 10? Probably I will not exist even in 5 or 10 years because of my temp and speed of my life, my feeling of life and stress and so on and so forth. And he transformed himself with the help of the professional psychotherapist and psychoanalyst whom he worked with within half a year. Yeah. So this are also like one of the approaches to provide big motivation. And but here it's really important how and what do you use to transform yourself, because in my opinion must be somebody externally who will manage you, because otherwise, typical behavior of a person. Okay, I got some kind of data about
yeah.
myself. I see my pros and cons. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a bit disappointed. I probably assume that I must change myself, But if I close this report, the problem disappear. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can forget about it. But with external help of professionals like psychologists, business coaches, mental health specialists, or whomever, it's a bit difficult because there is somebody who every time trying to push you, trying to track you, control you. Yeah, and this your motivation is more or less in the same on the same level. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the accountability and also the reality because you can just tell yourself these stories and lies like, "Oh, I think I'm better now. Maybe that report wasn't correct, or maybe it was, but I think I fixed it. Okay, forget about that."
Forget about it. Yeah.
Or you just get lazy and you don't really have anyone kind of pushing you along. I think this is helpful in a lot of areas of life to have these accountability partners and stuff. And what you're also saying is, so there's basically they're getting these reports, but it comes out in this sort of format that's readable and understandable to other healthcare. I don't, maybe that's another word you don't like. What's the word? People, psychologists, and coaches, and other people that can use this data. I don't know how it's read, whether it's sort of the raw data or it's some formatted in some like more easy to understand way or mix of both. But basically, they can hand this data off to other professionals to help them with the specific solutions. But you're not necessarily
Mhm.
providing the solutions, but you're providing the data, and then they can use that with other people to find the solutions, or maybe with themselves, but most likely with other people.
In our case, everything is developed in easiest way because you don't need to be a professional in neurophysiology or to have a education in medicine. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we developed everything which is like very easy to use. Yeah, and finally, you are as a specialist, you are getting the report. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
PDF file with like it consists of 23, 25 pages with a lot of explanation and text and
Okay.
some kind of charts and so on and so forth. But what is important to us, who is working with our solution?
Yeah.
Uh, why? Because this why it's important. You know, I really respect all the professionals, yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes professionals trying to use different theories. For instance,
Yeah.
horoscopes, yeah,
Yeah.
and some of them likes horoscopes, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then his approach in communication or with the clients in this or that way will be connected with horoscopes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and and this is not good approach because
Yeah.
horoscope is horoscope, yeah. It's about everything about nothing, yeah.
Yeah.
So we as a science backed, for us it is very important
Uh-huh.
to explain and to educate our clients, even who has private practice, how to learn, how to understand this or that parameters, and how this or that parameter or conclusion influence on a person. Because for us, very important to bring value for an end user, but not to bring additional risks, which even can be delivered with some kind of opinions, yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
theories which are
Yeah.
not scientific, for instance.
Yeah. So far, we've been talking about these sensors and the data and all this stuff, and people might be like, "Whoa, what is this?" We haven't really talked about VR yet so much. I know the headset sort of holds these sensors, but what is visually displayed or auditory? What is the person experiencing who has this VR headset on? Is there some kind of visual, or what are they experiencing while they're doing the test?
hmm hmm Let's first of all, I will tell you why we use virtual reality.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, uh, because there are several reasons for this. First of all, the headset itself closes off a person from external noises like sound, light, people, furniture, environment, everything influence on our functional state. and
Uh,
on our physiology. Yeah, and
yeah.
the headset close off, so
Uh,
we exclude some kind of mistakes and errors in physiological response.
yeah, it's like a blindfold.
Yeah, the second important point, that being immersed in virtual reality, you are not able to control yourself. And this is what we need to get your real physiological response.
Yeah.
Uh, Here I would like to provide one example.
Yeah.
When we validated our data with more than 150 employees and managers, before our test, we provide two questionnaires, like a paper questionnaire, yeah, or like on questionnaire on PC, it doesn't matter. And one questionnaire consists of 50 questions. Another questionnaire was like a scale with 10 levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is more important, the first and second questionnaire about the same, about the anxiety. And this is good validated questionnaires, but from different researchers. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we assumed that when a person fill in the questionnaires, the second after the one, yeah, like in the same period of time, we will see the correlation. But correlation in women 5%, correlation in men 0. So
What?
everybody line. Yes, and I tell you even more, Michael. If I will ask you, for instance, uh, fill in questionnaire in your office, at your home with a cup of your tea,
Yeah.
or somewhere else under the radar of your supervisor, we will get three different of you. And question for me how I make a decision based on what kind of data, because environment, conditions, everything change your behavior. Physiology also is changing based on your conditions and environment. It's also change your behavior. Yeah,
Yeah.
this very difficult process, and this is the power of virtual reality, because being immersed in VR, you are not able to control yourself, and this is what we need to get your real physiological response. But what is also important, let's compare with my previous example, when you are in three different places, yeah, and we are getting three different of you in VR. In our case, you or the rest people will be in the same position, in the same environment, and will be doing the same actions, which are absolutely controllable and reproducible. So we are getting absolutely clear measurement environment, which
Mm.
is important for our meanings and conclusions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And fourth important point of virtual reality, that our equipment embedded into their headset not bring additional mistakes, because if in real life I would put any kind of sensors on your body, first of all it's time consuming process, and secondly this is like a white coat effect. When you visit for a doctor to measure your blood pressure, you see white coat and your blood
Yeah.
pressure is going up. Yeah.
Yeah.
In our case, everything is embedded into the headset. It's practically invisible for a person. So we don't bring additional mistakes into the physiology of our user or patient or client or whomever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming back to your question regarding what is going on inside of VR, this is absolutely simple tests, like a Stroop test. Stroop test, it means that you uh, you are getting different words, which is written in different colors. For instance, yellow is written yellow, or yellow is written in red, or yellow is written in blue, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And your task, for instance, to select right combinations when yellow is written by yellow or blue is written by blue, and avoid not accept the incorrect parameters, like blue is written by white color or something like this. It's a very famous test, which is very well validated in the world. Or for instance, the second test called Schulte test. Schulte test is also a famous test where you're provided with some kind of a table with 25 cells, and you see 25 figures from 1 to 25, but they are randomly spread in this table. In your task to find all the numbers in right order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So very easy, very simple test, and or probably test which is absolutely easy. We ask you to calm down and relax within 2 minutes. Your task, do nothing. Yeah. So something like this. So nothing difficult, nothing specific. Yeah.
Yeah. From looking back at your sort of original version 1 of this and the updated, I'm guessing you've had these updates along the way. What are some things you learned, some maybe mistakes you made in the early version of this, and then after looking at how people responded, getting that sort of user feedback, basically, you're like, oh my god, why didn't we think of that? And then you changed something in it, or maybe not. Maybe it was perfect from the start, but I mean, usually things aren't perfect from the start. Were there any kind of,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, this is something new I didn't know about at the beginning?
There are different aspects, but first point that user experience. This is very important because how to create something with absolutely new technology like virtual reality for many, yeah, and to avoid a lot of mistakes with usage of controllers interacting with virtual reality.
Yeah.
This was most challenging task for us, and we did, I don't know, hundreds of iterations how to improve or exclude or include something to avoid wrong iterations with virtual reality.
Yeah.
It was tricky, challenging, but this is like a first point, yeah. And here just like a small advice for those people who also works with virtual reality. Uh, try to think not about your solution like you love it, yeah, but first of all try to think about your users, who your users, how they going to interact with virtual reality, are they experienced or familiar with VR or not, and how to create absolutely simple application where you don't need any kind of experience with VR. This is like a first part, yeah. And definitely we found a lot of insights, how to avoid cyber sickness, for instance, yeah, because cyber sickness is also important part of for VR, and we also try to measure it, and right now everything is clear. Another probably points of or insights which we got that we and this is like a constant process. Every day we learn something new, yeah, because of data which we are collecting every time, that we understood that definitely, even based on your heart activity, we see a lot of possibilities and even predictions for your even diseases. And we see it, but we are not able to say about it because we are not diagnosis too, yeah. But
Yeah.
definitely we see that some kind of predictions of potential cardio risks, like
Okay.
like a stroke, for instance, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
something like this. And for us, it's like an additional insight that wow, it can be used like it is or like this, and we must probably to think about it, yeah, in the future, how to
Yeah.
probably help people with this in the future.
Yeah. So it's not official medical advice or something, but it's some sort of, it looks like something might be going on here, but you can't say for sure. Yeah. Um, how did you get into all of this? I'll step back from the product a little bit, the VR and the sensors and all this cool stuff. And how about you? Was there something in your life or something, experience or whatever, that kind of got you into both brain health and VR? Yeah, what's kind of the motivation behind all this personally?
um, you know, previously I had also business in related to VR. We developed business solutions, and me personally, and I developed a platform for rehabilitation of kids with cerebral palsy. And at that moment, before COVID killed my previous business,
No.
I understood that I need some kind of gadgets to measure physiology because of our activities, specifically in rehabilitation processes. Because we worked with kids with cerebral palsy, we worked even with schizophrenia disease, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
And definitely, physiological data it could be very helpful to us. And I tried to use and experiment with different devices available on the market, but unfortunately the quality of data, and when you measure something but you are not sure that this is real parameter, this is something you measure something, yeah,
Yeah.
and you are not sure that it's real. And at that moment, uh, I met with my future business partner, Alex, who's a PhD in medicine, and and owner several also businesses at that period. And Alex tried to solve his own issue with arm,
Mm-hmm.
because of he had some kind of issues because of long working with computer mouse.
It's kind of carpal tunnel or something.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. And he tried to understand, is it possible to control mouse by brain? And
Mm.
he developed even first prototype. So it was a big box with a lot of electronics, but still this prototype was really very cool because of quality and reliability of data. It was very close to medical equipment. Yeah. uh, and we decided that we must go together in a direction of combination virtual reality and physiology, because sooner or later physiology will play a crucial role in immersive technologies as a new way of interaction and communication of people. Yeah. And the second point, why this solution like Stresonica, which is focused at burnout, important to me. I burn out twice, and I know what burnout means and what burnout can bring to your personal life and your professional life. It's really very dangerous state, yeah, um, which can then be transformed into depressions, anxiety, stroke, or cancer, or whatever. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is even something like a personal.
And and so what your technology can do is kind of detect the burnout might be coming, that it might be on the horizon, and so you can kind of detect it earlier than you normally would be able to. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, we identify the risk of burnout. We
Okay.
are not able to say that
Yeah,
you
you
burnt
never
out
can.
on 60% or something like
Yeah.
this. Nobody can do it, yeah?
No.
But what we can say and do, if we see your reaction of your physiology, yeah, non-adequate reaction of your cardiovascular system, we must to say to you that look, you under the risk of burnout. It means that if you will continue to react in the same manner, even on such simple tasks, and activate your body in such a manner, sooner or later you will burn out. And this is topic to think how to avoid it. And we provide you some recommendations how to avoid it with
Yeah.
your individual work style. Yeah, because different people, if we look at our statistics with more than 1000 people, we will see that 53% of them are at risk of burnout right now, and they will burn out if they will not learn how to manage themselves. But what is more important to understand how stress influence on your efficiency, productivity, or your body. Because for certain category of people, stress is a fuel for their productivity.
Mm.
But they must keep in mind that their work style must be a bit different, probably with short deadlines, with switching between or rest between switching of tasks and so on and so forth. It also depends on your ability to recover after the stress. But there are another category of people who, under the stress, get a bit sorry for such a term, like get a stupid, yeah, like they make a lot of mistakes and so on and so forth. And very often I hear from managers such a phrase, "Oh, look at this guy. This is really this stupid employee." No, dear manager, it's not he's stupid. It's probably you stupid as a manager because you are not able to recognize that your behavior led him to stress. And in such a state, he is not able to act in his comfort style. He under stress. Just change the communication flow to him, change the approach how to work with him, and you will get absolutely the happy and professional employee who will love you, yeah, and
Mm.
support you forever.
Yeah. And that's another valuable thing of this is that you people are you've definitely experienced this because you've seen, you know, hundreds or thousands of individuals probably using this, and you say, whoa, everyone's different. And it's easy to forget that not everyone has the same brain as ours, that not everyone has the same nervous system as ours, the same past and everything. So sometimes these managers and people assume that, yeah, this person's stupid or this person's bad or this or that, something negative or whatever, based on our own experience of how we perceive the world. But not everyone, it has the same system. So it's kind of a good kind of reminder to managers, just the general point of, okay, all of my employees are going to have a different result on this test. It doesn't mean one is sort of better than the other. It's good, just general reminder. The actual specifics of the data aside, just the fact that there's this variation between the individuals is a nice kind of reminder to the manager, like, oh, well, maybe we should treat people in more individual ways, not just blanket approach, treat everyone the same. It's hard,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's hard, but this is one of the way to get real well-being. Many companies talking about well-being, yeah,
yeah,
but no free cakes or free lunches or additional extra bonuses like free spaces, free computers, or free something bring you to real well-being, because for people it's not so visible. For them this is just like a habit, or company must to provide it, yeah, and it's not like a way for well-being, but only uh, we believe that emotional intelligence and empathy development, this is a way for well-being. Why? Because we our team, we know to each other through the prism of the data, and our team is very strong. Nobody left us within 3 years, and there is no even such a signals. Yeah, we did the same in other team of one of our companies. Yeah, where 40 people, and we see the results, how it works. Yeah, so there's not some kind of a magic. This is just like another approach for inclusion and diversity, or what I mentioned before, like a physiological diversity in comparison with, let's call it like a racial or gender diversity. This is a new level of dimension, which also can be very helpful for companies.
yeah. I know we don't really have any many great AR augmented reality headsets yet, but if you can get if this technology develops, say in the next few years or whatever, and there's a affordable, high quality, great AR headset, maybe it's the Apple Vision Pro 3 or something, or maybe the version 1, who knows. If you have that kind of technology, what other possibilities open up for what you're doing? Does it change anything?
Um, you know, I like virtual reality. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like immersive technologies, and we use this technology for our purposes, which I explained you
Mm.
before.
Yeah.
But am I sure that everything must be in immersive technology and immersive reality? I mean, and like everybody is wearing headsets or something like this. not. I'm not sure. I don't like such a future.
Yeah, you're not obsessed with VR,
Yeah,
AR.
yeah, yeah. To be absolutely digit. Yeah. Um, uh, but for me, technology is something what can bring additional value for our life, for our general well-being. Yeah. And regarding the clever point, we believe that our technology will be using with virtual reality and future with AR, but question is our responsibility in front of society. How in which manner this technology must be used.
Yeah,
Because I don't want to use this technology for some kind of, I don't know, marketing, advertising, or whatever. Yeah, it's not our way.
yeah. Most people don't really have access to your services, your technology. I guess they can find it, they can get it. But the fact is, most people don't. So, are there? I know there's no blanket general approach. This works for everybody, but are there ways to kind of things we can do to learn about our own nervous system and basically generate this? It's not going to be a complete report like the way like what you're providing, but it'll be something kind of more subjective, probably. But it's better than nothing. Is there anything we can do just in our room at home, um, or other technology? Something are there alternatives to getting this kind of data, even if it's not hard data like that you're providing?
Um, Small example.
Yeah.
Uh, if you right now can count your heart beats, if you feel your heart right now,
Mm. Yeah.
or probably later, some in the area of nose or mouth, or probably somewhere stomach or whatever, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can feel it and you can count it.
Yeah.
You must know that this your stress. You're under the big stress.
Oh, that's stress. That's bad. Okay.
Yeah, your sympathetic system is active.
Mm.
Question is it probably how to reduce it. This is very easiest way to find first signals of really hyper stress situation in your
Mm.
body. Yeah, definitely usage of smartwatches, fitness trackers. It's good. It's it allows you to at least to have feeling that you control yourself. Yeah, and definitely these devices provide more or less not I would say not reliable, but more or less enough data to understand your average state. Yeah, probably within the day or within the hour or something like this. And based on it, you also can make some conclusions, and that's why such devices are very popular because you have ability to control. Yeah, there's like a feeling of control of controlling of something, your life, your state, or whatever. This is also good. Yeah,
Mm.
and this is good signal because if you really control it, but not just like curious about it. Yeah, this is not like your interest, but real goal to control means that the health is really important to you. This is also good. Yeah. So different methods are helpful if the person really believe that these methods or tools will help him to improve or save his health or improve his or her health. Yeah.
Have you ever thought about combining the smartwatch data with the data that your VR headset is collecting? Basically pulling it all together. Would there be any benefit to that, or basically is your data just kind of is more accurate, so you don't even need that data? Would there be any benefit to kind of combining the two? Is that something you've ever thought about?
Definitely, we thought about it, and even we can somehow probably reduce our accuracy with such kind of a data. But the question to add that different devices, different
Oh yeah,
applications, many devices not provide access to the API or something like this, and then how to support all this stuff of this equipment, gadgets, and so on and so forth? This is
Yeah.
question, the technological question.
Yeah. People don't want to be wearing 10 different things, right? They want to have just a simple,
Yeah.
comfortable experience. Um, yeah. Well, this is pretty amazing stuff. Definitely a lot of new stuff for me, but it's very exciting. How can people learn more about this? How can companies get this? Where is it available? How do people learn about it? Yeah, yeah. Tell us about that.
Um, Look, right now we started some changes in our marketing because, to be honest, we were focused at solution preparation and first client supporting, what
Yeah.
is very important from early stages,
Mhm.
early steps. Everybody can find me or company or my colleagues in LinkedIn, yeah,
Mhm.
or in internet through our websites like cleverpoint.pro or stressonica.com and so on and so forth,
Yeah.
or at least get in touch through social media right now.
Okay. Great. Are there any other kind of general resources, other cool companies? I know you don't want to be like, hey, highlighting your competitors, for example, but if people are just generally interested in learning about this kind of technology, combining the physiology with VR and sensors and that kind of thing, are there any other companies that you think, or maybe universities or organizations that are doing something? Wow, this is pretty cool stuff. Yeah, they might be a competitor, but still, they're pretty cool. Is there anybody? I haven't really found a lot of it, but maybe you know.
Definitely, we know our, I would say, landscape, uh, competition landscape, but I don't like a term of competitiveness.
I don't either.
I like a like a colleagues on the market, yeah, because
Hey, you're working together to the same mission, right?
yeah, same mission but different ways, and
Okay.
I like what, for instance, Emotide is doing, like or Emotive or Muse or MTech or Luxit or other companies. Yeah, so that's uh, a lot of companies and teams are working in the field of neuroscience, brain-computer interfaces, and definitely we are not alone in this world. Yeah,
Yeah.
but as you also mentioned, we have different ways
Yeah.
of development.
Okay. I'll finish up this conversation in just a second. But you mentioned brain computer interface. What are your thoughts on the brain computer interface? Putting something physically, into your head. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? And would that be something you would be open to incorporating into this somewhere down the road if it got developed and safe enough, etc. I know it's super. We're not ready for that stuff yet, but yeah. Any. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I believe in it. I believe, and I like this approach. This is the same like artificial intelligence. Yeah, 5 or 10 years ago, everybody were talking about AI, but look, right now, today, if you look at right now, for instance, practically everybody on this planet already know what AI means and
Yeah.
what kind of pushing is done
Uh huh.
within this open AI and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and our society and world is changing, good or bad. We don't know yet. Yeah, I hope it will be good. The same with brain-computer interfaces. That sooner or later, this the subject will be under the radar of many. Yeah, and such technologies and approaches bring a lot of additional benefits. Question is that such benefits must be for everybody, for many people who is really in need. Yeah, this is what is more important to me, and be a bit science backed, because to avoid any kind of, you know gadgets or tools which really bring nothing to people, just selling, yeah, or
Yeah. Yeah.
earning money from them, for
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah.
This is very important.
You can just slap the AI, start putting AI all over your website and everything, and all the everyone's going to start coming to you, and it's just a word. But yeah, speaking of AI, this is sort of the last point before we go. Yeah, is there any plans or hopes with incorporating AI into all of this, or is there something already there? I'm guessing it would really empower it.
Definitely. We see a lot of opportunities, usage of AI in our solution, even during the consultation of people when psychologists or coaches or whomever work with clients, they can use AI even to transcript, their conclusions or talk into some kind of a protocol or memos or whatever. We considering even some kind of assistant, psychological assistant based on our data, because we have a lot of data, and the topic to us just to learn a model to provide absolutely reliable advice from AI psychologist, let's call it, but still all these instruments must be under the control of real people, from my point of view, to avoid any kind of mistakes, misunderstanding. Because if you advise something to somebody, you have responsibility
Yeah.
to provide true advice. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And that's also why you're mainly focusing on people there in Poland or in Europe, probably people you can actually visit in person and kind of take care of along the experience. You don't want to just ship it off in the mail and have them do it at home. That's not really your strategy right now, right? You're kind of more like hands-on, kind of taking care of people along the way kind of approach.
Yeah. That's why we work with corporates, and we learn people inside how to use our technology, how to read data, and how to support everybody who will be tested. Or we are opening this room of immersive psychology, and or provide our solution to professionals, but still we train them, or let's call it certify them, to be sure that they are really ready to provide correct conclusions and recommendations, to avoid any kind of misunderstanding. Because people like to imagine something, and if I read, and based on my abstraction level or whatever, I can create so many ideas and approaches, but they can be wrong because I'm not professional in everything. And if I'm working with stress, I guess that some kind of professional must work with me, because this professional is professional, whom I will be trust.
Yeah. As you're speaking throughout this conversation, there's been ambulances just driving by, driving by. And I'm like, it kind of added a little soundtrack, at least on my side, to this whole thing. I don't want it there,
Hmm.
but yeah, it is what it is. Cool. Yeah, well, I'll link up, stuff to your company and your LinkedIn and all that. No pun intended. Yeah. Thank you so much today, and I'm looking forward to hopefully one day trying it myself, or at the very least, seeing how this technology of yours at Cleverpoint kind of progresses in the future. It's a very exciting landscape, and things are changing fast. And maybe we'll talk again in a couple years, or even sooner than that, and it might be a whole new conversation. Who knows? But I think what you have right now is very exciting, very powerful. I think it's something it would be very useful for a lot of people, a lot of companies, if it was feasible for everyone to have. But at least start small, get bigger and bigger. And yeah, thank you for your technology. Thank you for the conversation. I had a great time with you today.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your invitation. And I hope that we will continue our conversation and communication, even to provide you or get you a chance to get to know yourself better. Yeah, thank you.